I got on the scale this morning and I weighed 198.3 pounds. That is a 1.3 pound loss since last week. And again, I'm ecstatic by my results so far. When I started back on February 20th, I was 235.1 pounds. So the total loss of weight to date is 36.8 pounds, which is 15.7% of my total body weight. That beats the uh, percentage points of what they predicted for uh, semaglutide with clinical trials. They said it could be up to 15%, and I'm a little bit over that, and I'm pleased with the results so far. And the most important thing is the way I feel it is it's made me feel 100% better. And with that total body loss of 36.8 pounds, it equates to 147 pounds of downward pressure off my joints. My knees don't ache as much. My body doesn't hurt as much. My hips, everything that's from the waist down feels so much better. And that's what I'm thankful for. And this isn't about a 5.5 month progress. My 6 month progress report will be on or about August 20th. That'll be exactly 6 months. And these clinical trials say that it took people up to 68 weeks. And here I'm doing it in 24, 25 weeks. And believe me, I feel 1,000% better right now. All right, enough of that. What I want to talk about is some of the biometrics relating to the weight loss process. And I told you many times that I use a VeSync Biometric Smart Scale, and it gives you 14 different biometrics inclusive of the weight each time. So you get 13 other biometrics. And each week I'm taking two of those biometrics and explaining them a little bit more in detail. And today I chose for number one is BMI, which is body mass index. Now, body mass index correlates to several body biometrics, but the best correlations depends on what you're trying to get assessed: fatness, leanness, or health risk. Now, here's a breakdown of the strongest correlations. And I'm not going to remember all of this stuff, so I'm just going to refer to my notes and read it because it is very complicated. And again, I'm not a physician. I'm not a clinical scientist or a pharmacist or anybody related to the health field industry. So anything that I give you, take it with a grain of salt. Research it yourself. Talk to your own doctor. Make your own decisions about how you're going to proceed. Last week, I talked about switching over to Repazide, which is the generic version of Zepbound. Supposedly, that drug gives you up to 20% of your body weight loss. And it's supposed to be more effective than a semaglutide, but I'm going to renew my prescription. I have it sitting at the pharmacy right now. I just have to go pick it up. And I'm going to try the semaglutide for another month to see if I continue to lose weight. And I'm very confident in it. It's worked for me so far, and it's a little bit cheaper than the generic Tirepazide. And I'm not going to change it unless I absolutely have to. So again, I'm doing what I can do with it. Let's get back. I didn't really talk about side effects. I have absolutely no side effects whatsoever. I did report previously that I had a problem with dry mouth, but this morning when I woke up, I took the injection last night. I did not have dry mouth. So maybe that symptom or that side effect is going away. I did have a little bit of cravings yesterday for foods, but I'm disciplined enough not to gorge myself, and I just ate what I normally ate, and I kept my protein level up to about 100 grams a day, which I previously indicated is very important, which your weight loss progress, let's put it that way. It keeps you on track, and it prevents the muscles from being attacked because you don't have enough protein. That'll your body will attack the fat in your body instead of the muscles, and that's important. All right, let's get back to your BMI. Now, this is going to be a very difficult thing. So, as I said, I'm going to try to explain it to the best of my ability. And this is taken off the app for the scale. There's a little section for each one of the biometrics that explains it. It gives you a little bit of advice for dieting. It's called Advice for the Dietary, and a little bit of exercise advice. What is BMI and how does it affect me? Body mass index, BMI, is a person's weight in kilograms divided by the square of their height in meters. BMI is an easy screening method for weight category underweight, healthy weight, overweight, and obese. BMI does not measure body fat directly, but provides a reasonable body fat estimate. Some people, such as muscular athletes, may have a BMI in the obese category, even though they don't have excess body fat. Now, did you get it at the beginning where, it gives this calculation about person's weight in kilograms divided by the square of their height in meters? You can do that. You can get on Chat GPT, and you can put in your statistics, your height, your weight, and your waist at that time, and you'll come up with a BMI. Or you can get a scale like I did, and it'll calculate it through the scale. All right, now, advice for the dietary. The best way to lower your BMI is to consume fewer calories than you burn. Duh, that's a no-brainer. A healthy diet is high in fruits, vegetables, fiber, whole grains, and nuts. It should also contain lean proteins like soy, fish, or poultry, and should limit added sugars, salt, red meat, and saturated fats. Here are some tips of losing weight. Reduce your sugar and carbohydrate intake. Fill up on non-starchy vegetables, fats, and proteins. Consume less foods and drinks that are high in fat, salt, and sugar. That's one thing I learned. I don't drink sugary drinks at all. I haven't been for quite a while. I pretty much drink anything that has maybe 10 calories or less in it and a lot of water, or at least I try to drink a lot of water. You wouldn't believe how much sugar and how many calories are in some of these drinks. And a couple of drinks you shouldn't be drinking anyway. Mountain Dew, for instance, is bad for you. It's even if it's the the light version or the no calorie version, because there's something in Mountain Dew that causes kidney stones. And my doctor warned me about that a long time ago. Also, black tea is not good for your kidneys. That could develop kidney stones also. So I don't drink tea. I don't drink, being from the South right now, sweet tea is the biggest culprit down here. And everybody drinks sweet tea or unsweetened tea. And the sweet tea has a lot of calories in it, but it also has that ingredient in it that could cause kidney stones. And Mountain Dew, I know it's very popular. It's a good tasting drink, whether it's the regular Mountain Dew or the one that's flavored, one that's Baja Blast. Stay away from it if you can. Now, advice for exercise. While exercising, muscles consume energy contained in fat and glycogen. Walking, running, and cycling are highly effective means of reducing body fat. The American Heart Association recommends a minimum of 30 minutes of moderate aerobic exercise at least 5 days a week. I tried to come up with another biometric that I received from the scale, and the best thing that I could come up with that correlates pretty well with the BMI is free body weight. What is free body weight and how does it affect me? Free body weight is the total weight of the body minus the weight of the fat measured. This gives a combined weight of the water, bone, skins, and internal organs. Fat-free body weight refers to any body tissue that does not contain fat, which includes most of your body's vital tissues and cells. That means your organs, your internal organs, such as your heart, your brain, and your liver, muscle, cardiac muscle, smooth muscle, and skeletal muscle. Bone, the bones that protect you and provide your body structure. Connective tissue, tendons and ligaments that connect bones and muscle. And water. Approximately 50 to 70% of your body contains water. All right, your free body weight advice for the dietary. Continue eating a healthy diet that's high in fruits, vegetables, fiber, whole grain, and nuts. It should also contain lean proteins, again, soy, fish, or poultry, and should limit the amount of added sugars, salt, red meat, and saturated fats. It's pretty much the same that the advice was given for the BMI. And the exercise, again, it's pretty similar, but I'm just going to read it. It says to burn calories and visceral fat, do aerobic exercises or activities such as walking, running, cycling, or swimming for 3.5 hours every week. Strength training twice a week can also help burn calories while increasing lean muscle and boosting your metabolism. Now, all this dieting and exercise advice, you have to figure out what you're comfortable about doing. If you're comfortable about doing a lot of exercising and you're capable of doing it, by all means do it, because that's only going to add to your body losing weight. It's going to make you lose it quicker. However, if you're sedentary, if you don't get around as well like I do, again, I use a rollator, so my stability and my balance is challenged, and that's why I use a rollator. But I do sit in a chair, and I use those those rubber bands that you can exercise with, and I get a little bit of cardio because I have one of those sit down steppers that I'm supposed to be putting under my desk. And it's not as good as doing a stand-up stepper at a exercise facility, but I don't have the capabilities of doing that. So I use the stepper, and I use whatever is available to me. I used to like swimming. I'm not sure if I can go back to swimming. There's a pool that's pretty close to me, and they have it's a community pool. It's indoors, but I'd have a heck of a time even trying to get into it because I'd have to bring the rollator very, very close to the pool's edge. And I think they have a walk down ramp, but I'm not comfortable with it yet. So I'm just not doing it. So uh, that's what I've chosen to do is exercise at home to the best of my ability. All right, those are the two biometrics that I was able to obtain from my scale and give a little bit of an explanation of each one of those biometrics mean. However, one of the other things that I did do is I got on ChatGPT and I asked it, I said, what does BMI best correlate to? It correlates to is something called the WHTR, which means waist to height ratio. And that's strongly linked to visceral fat and cardiometabolic risk, often predictors of health risk more so than BMI. And it's best for predicting heart disease, diabetes, and mortality. A WHTR over 0.5 is considered risky for both men and women. The correlation to BMI and the best use of that biometric that I'm getting is the waist circumference that I talked about a few seconds ago. That predicts visceral fat and health risk, cardiovascular, metabolical health screening, fat-free mass, assessing lean tissue, and muscle mass percentage. All right, the takeaway for that is for your overall body fat percentage correlates best with BMI. For health risk prediction, waist to height ratio or waist circumference is more valuable and predictive than BMI alone. And then ChatGPT asks, if you'd like, I can help you estimate your body percentage or WHTR based on your height, weight, and waist size. Would you like to try that? And I said, sure, I'll do that. So I put in my height, and it goes in as inches. And I said, my weight is 198 pounds. And my waist circumference right now is 42 inches. And it went through all these calculations, and it came up with a score of 0.60. So the interpretation of it is anything over 0.50 is generally indicates increased health risk. My WHTR of 0.60 suggests elevated risk, particularly related to visceral fat, the kind that surrounds internal organs and contributes to diabetes and heart disease. Now, you could figure this out. There's a calculation that you can go through, but it's very complicated. And I wasn't good in that type of math back in school, and I'm certainly not good at it now. So I let ChatGPT do it. Or you could probably get on Google and do the same thing. Now, the interpretation of this is 18.5 through 24.9 is considered a normal WHTR. 25 to 29.9 is considered overweight, and a 30 plus is obese. So my BMI came out to 28.4, and that falls into the overweight category. So I realized that. And again, that's one of the calculations that I get from my scale whenever I get on it. And I'm trying to get on it every day to get a good assessment. Now, I notice those numbers are going down. The bad numbers are going down towards the good numbers, and the good numbers are actually coming back up where they're getting very good and excellent scores. So I'm going to continue, using that scale. All right, I didn't introduce myself before. I'm John, and welcome back to my channel, In John's Universe. I appreciate you being here, and I hope you got some value out of this presentation or progress report today. If you're new to the channel, I'd appreciate it if you would, if you found this valuable to you, subscribe to the channel and give it a like. If you're already a subscriber to the channel, thank you very much. I'm just totally overwhelmed with the support and the number of subscribers that I've gotten recently. And the comments that I've gotten are great, and it's been very helpful to me. And I mentioned it before, I'm trying to get all the comments in a timely manner. The more comments I get, that buoys me to get back in and try to be responsive to those comments. And I don't just give thumbs up on these comments. I give, if the person takes time to leave a comment, I'm going to take time to respond to that comment. Again, put all the comments in relating to weight loss or anything else in my videos. If you have any suggestions for future videos, if you have any suggestions for me, my presentation, or if you don't like what I'm talking about, tell me about it. I've gotten some not bad comments, but some kind of derogatory comments. And I mentioned this once before. Depending upon the mood I'm in, I may be snappy and give back a quick, smart ass answer and then block that person. Or I may just block that person altogether because I'm just not going to deal with it. I think it's toxic to my channel, and it's toxic to me. So I don't listen to it. I just block them out. Now, again, like the video. That helps with our YouTube algorithm. I still don't know how it all works, but the algorithm does work. And sometimes it pushes the videos out and I get more subscribers, and sometimes it doesn't. And, I won't get as many subscribers, or I won't get as many views. Again, it's on this side. The like button's on this side also. And there's a notifications bell. So if you click on that notifications bell, you'll get notifications when new videos go up. Again, that just to give you an update. Hey, John's putting a new video up, or he has put a new video up. If I'm going to follow him, I'm going to listen to him and see what he has to say today. Well, thanks again for listening to me. And I'll talk to you next week about my weight loss progress. And hopefully I'll be down another pound or so by then. All right, everybody, have a good day, and I'll talk to you soon. Thanks again. Bye.